Hey guys, welcome back to the sunny side. I'm Sunny, and today we're going to take another look at Donald Trump's astrological chart. And in addition to that, I'm going to explain what's happening with the full moon and why he's, and why things are coming out and how he's firing everybody this week. He's doing it again under the full moon. Anyways, for those who don't know, I'm a professional astrologer, and if you want your chart read, just check out how to do that in the description box below. In addition to that, we have a really cool app out these days. It's called the Sunnyside Astrology app. There's a link in the description box below. Please download the app. It's free. There are a couple of different horoscopes widgets on there if you want your horoscope read from different perspectives. So there's some tarot stuff there, compatibility stuff, and you can get your chart done on there as well. And that's the action, and the app's for free, and it's available in the description box below. All right, once again, as always, subscribe to the channel and share the video. Before we go to the chart, okay, the chart's right here, but before we go to the chart, I want to explain a couple of things to you guys. We teach a lot on the channel. For those who don't know, who are new to the channel, we teach a lot here on the sunny side. Obviously, again, I'm a professional astrologer, so I do teach this stuff online as well. But just letting you know, so there are a lot of questions out there. What's the full moon? What's the moon? What does the moon mean? Hey, Sunny, I get this all the time on the live streams. Hey, Sunny, is this about my moon horoscope? Does this affect my moon? Does this affect my rising sign? What should I be checking out here? And I'm just going to take a moment and explain what's going on in astrology, how the sun, the moon, and the ascendant work. I'll just take a minute and then we'll get down to the Donald Trump thing, because we looked at his chart a number of times on the channel here. And so there's also a lot of subjective interpretations of what's going on. I've seen a number of people over the years come up with incredibly erroneous predictions about Donald Trump based purely on their ego and their desire. The number one thing about being psychic is lose the ego. It's the number one thing. Just because you don't want it to happen doesn't mean it's, just as, so it's all, just saying, keep it nice and clean. So here we go. In astrology, the sun right here is shining light on things. So your sun sign in astrology is where you're standing in the world, and it's how you look and see the world. Again, the sun is shining a light in a dark universe. And so your sun sign is the veil that you wear to the world. It's not necessarily your veil, it's your colored glasses, your astrological perspective on how you see things. So if you're an Aries sun, you're going to see things in a very Aries kind of way, a very springtime, a very vibrant, a very let's get things done, let's get out there, a very youthful energy, a very competitive butt heads kind of way. If you see things in if you're a Scorpio sign, you're going to see Scorpio sun, you're going to see things in a very ending kind of way. You're going to look around the world and you're going to see trees dying. You're going to see trees going to sleep. You're going to see the snow coming. You're going to see endings and getting ready. And you're going to see a lot of retribution in the world, like a very karmic kind of situation. And so that's what you're going to see. If you're a Cancer rising, if you're a Cancer sun, you're going to see the world through very nurturing eyes. It's a very loving time of the year. And so you grow up seeing the world through the sun sign perspective, and as a result, that shapes who you are as a person. So the sun shapes it. You see all this, and as a result, that's how you behave in a general kind of way. So once again, the sun is how you behave because it's how you're trained to behave. Like it's your identity based on what you see in this world is your sun sign. Your rising sign is what people see when they look at you. So you might be a loud and proud Sagittarius. You might be optimistic, and you might be adventurous. You might be really smart. You might be philosophical, spiritual, the whole deal with Sagittarius. But if you're like a Taurus rising, or no, say you're a Cancer rising, they might look at you and think you're a crybaby. And you're like, what? I'm not a crybaby. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm totally optimistic. I'm not pessimistic at all. But if you're a Cancer rising, that's how they're going to see you. Also, when they say walk a mile in the other person, when they say try and see what the other person's seeing, that means to look at the world through their sun sign perspective and try and see what they're seeing to get that kind of vibe. of what's going on. You could be a totally optimistic Sagittarius and have a Pisces rising, and people think that you're going to throw pity parties all the time. They're going to, why are you such a martyr all the time? You go, I'm not a martyr. I don't even care. I'm a Sagittarius. And so that's the difference between your rising and your sun sign. On top of all of that, the moon is who you really are. It's what you want to. It's what you want to do. And oftentimes, the way you see the world, your sun sign, is very much not the same as what you want to do. You might be a Scorpio, a very vindictive Scorpio, but your moon might be in Sagittarius, and you just want to play. Or your moon's in Leo, you just want to play and have fun. You just want to look good, you want to play, get out, be really cool. If your moon's in Leo, but your sun in Scorpio is going to be like, no, man, I can't let it go. I can't let it go. You're just not going to let it go. The same on the reverse side of things. Say your sun is in Leo, and you see the world as happy. You see the world as supposed to succeed. You see the world as your tribe. But your moon is in Scorpio, and who you really are, like, yeah, I need to punish this mofo for that stupid move. That's how it is. But say you're one of these kind of guys, but your your ascendant is in Aquarius. Nobody's going to know any of this is happening. They're going to think you're easygoing, and they're going to think so. So that's the difference between the sun, the moon, and the ascendant. And that's important today because we really don't see the moon, except at times of the full moon. That's the only time we really get to see who people really are and what they're really doing. So once again, the ascendant is what people see when they look at you. The sun is what you see. It's the colors or the shape or the how the world is around you when you are looking at the world, and that's shaping who you are. So oftentimes when people say, oh, they don't really know who they are, I don't know why I did that, I don't know why I did that, there's a juxtaposition here. There's between your sun sign about how you see things and how you react to what's around you, and your moon sign, which nobody sees except under a full moon, which is who you really are. And that's the deal. So, for example, if a guy's a werewolf, you'll be like, hey man, that guy's a pretty cool guy, that guy's a pretty cool guy. And then all of a sudden, the full moon comes out and you find out who the guy really is, and you go like, oh my god, that guy's a werewolf. Oh, right? Or in the case of whatever, someone might be like, blah, 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 blah. He looks like this, and he goes, oh yeah, well, okay, I get it. I'm looking at the world, he looks like this, but I know he looks like his ascendant. Okay, I get he's like that. And then you're like, oh, I walk a mile in his shoes, I see what his sun sign is. Okay, I get he's like that. And then all of a sudden under a full moon, you're like, whoa, I didn't know the guy was like, I didn't know he like to put ketchup on pizza. What kind of weird dude does that? Oh, I didn't know. I knew he picked his nose, but I didn't know he eats it. Oh, like, hey, you ever thought about using toilet paper, mofo? Anyways, and so, everybody likes a little tickle on. Anyways, so that's the deal between the sun, the moon, and the ascendant. So let's get to Trump's chart, and I'll show what's going on. And that's the important thing about the full moon, what's happening right now. And so you'll see in the full moon, what you're doing behind the scenes comes to light. And that's the deal. So that's why you have to watch out for what's going on in the full moon. All right, let's get down to the action here. So this is Donald Trump's chart. Donald Trump is born June 14th, 1946, 10:54 a.m. in New York. He is a very late 29 out of 30, right? So 29 degree Leo rising. So he's right on the cusp. This makes him loud. He appears to be, when you look at him, he appears to be a combination of Leo energy and Virgo energy. So he's Leo. He's very dramatic. He's very showy. He always wants to have nice hair. He always wants to look very good. But he's also he's absorbing Virgo energy because he's on the cusp. And as such, he can be very nitpicky, extremely critical, pays very close attention to the details, and absolutely cannot let go. He's hypercritical, won't let go, and he can be a real, thorn in the you know where every once in a while. And so that's the deal. So he comes across as he looks as a combination of Leo and Virgo energy. What else is going on? He's obviously a Gemini, right? Gemini's at the top. Never trust a Gemini. I just did Vindman's chart there, and I didn't realize he was a Gemini. Never trust a Gemini. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. It's in the 10th house. That makes Trump super popular person. He's always going to seek the limelight, regardless of what he does. The spotlight, remember, is how you see the world. It's how you see the world, and, you know, it's not only how you see the world. You try your best to maintain your perspective. Psychologically, you try your best to maintain your perspective in this world, to validate who you are as a person, and it happens at a subconscious level, and it's reflected here in the natal chart in the zodiac. His moon is in the 10th, his sun is in the 10th house. He wants to be seen, the light to see, the sun, light to see, very 10th house publicly. That's his action. Mercury is over here in the 11th house. The 11th house is social media. This guy, Mercury is what you're always talking about. Mercury is in social media. Blah, that's duh. What else is going on here? He has Mars kicking around behind the scenes. Mars is obviously Mars in the 12th house of enemies. Trump has always had enemies. He's always had haters, and he can do a lot of nonsense behind the scenes. He's a hater. He does stuff. He can do a lot of things behind the scenes. A lot of things are done to him behind the things. The whole impeachment thing is very clearly enemies coming out to get you. And that's very clearly what he's going through. Jupiter in the 2nd house, that's rich as ass. Trump is a rich dude. It's retrograde, so his money does come and go. He can be somewhat irresponsible with money at times, and he can somewhat flaunt his money at times. Moon in the 4th house. 4th house is family. So obviously he has close ties to family. The moon is also, like I said, what you want to do. It's who you really are in your heart. The 4th house is home, family, and guess what? Real estate. Duh. And so when people want personal readings with me, I often look at this planet here, Venus, which is attracting money, love and money, to make a nice aspect of the 4th house if you're doing deals involving real estate. But it depends on the type of real estate deal you're involved in. All right, that's the deal. That's a quick and dirty on Trump's chart. We've looked at it before. If there are any questions, just ask in the description box below, or ask me during one of the live streams, and I'll gladly answer it. And let's go look at the transits. So the deal is, the reason I'm doing Trump's chart today is we have a full moon, and I want to show you guys what the full moon is in the chart, and to explain what's happening. So this week, so this is Trump on the inside, right? This is him on the inside, and the outside are the transiting planets. So the sun is over here in Trump's day-to-day life of work. So the spotlight is and has been for the last couple of weeks on what Trump does every day. So his work, people are seeing him, not in a high visibility kind of way, but they're seeing him working and taking care of business. This is popularity. This is doing something, taking care of business. And he really is taking care of business. It's not like he's doing stuff. And so, anyways, this is the moon. And whenever the moon is opposite the sun, we have what's called a full moon. The sun shines its light directly on the moon, and we can see as much as the moon as we're going to see. Now, that means all the lunas. So in addition to that, look at this. The moon is shining right on endings. This guy is out. The full moon is out to nuke people. You know, Trump is the guy who says you're fired. That's the moon happening behind the scenes. The moon is cruising around behind the scenes. You don't really know a guy until the full moon, and then you're like, hey, I should have known better than to trust your ass. And then in this situation, the 12th house is the house of enemies. Like it's one of the house of enemies. It's hidden enemies. 7th house is open enemies, and this is hidden enemies. And so, anyways, as we're transiting here, this is whenever you have a full moon crossing this Pluto right here, not a regular moon, but you get the full moon, then this is going to this is going to create some endings. This is going to nuke somebody from behind the scenes. So there are two things happening here in this chart. First is the moon is who you really are. And the moon, the full moon, shows everybody what's going on. So we've seen da 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 da, and that's the action right now. And it just happens to come out on Pluto, and Pluto is endings. If Venus was here, like if this planet was here, that would be very loving. He would do something very nice for people behind the scenes. He'd give people a lot of money behind the scenes, or he'd like relate to people in a very harmonious way, or he'd attract a lot of stuff behind the scenes. A secret relationships is not here. It's not. But that would be the case if it was. And there are times, like last month, the full moon was over here. The full moon was crossing his Venus and his Saturn and his Mercury. So last month, we saw him do stuff that was really good for a lot of people. You know, his 7th, 11th house supporting groups of people. And last month, he very much supported groups of people, like he did. He went to that rally, whether you agree with it or not. He went to the rally. He did a lot of good stuff. He did a lot of good stuff. And so that was him, full moon behind the scenes with groups of people. Now it's and crossing all this good stuff. Now it's crossing the negative stuff. So he's gonna fire your ass straight action, and that's the deal. That's the deal. Without getting too crazy, without reading too much into anything, that's just a quick and dirty what's going on with Donald Trump cleaning house, and that's how you would see it in an astrological chart. Anything else going on that's happening that we should know about? This stuff here, when you look at Vindman's video, this stuff here really nuked Vindman's video, but I'm going to show you guys some major problem that Trump is going to go into right now. This stuff is now directly across his Venus. I didn't realize this. I thought it was coming a little later. So when Saturn is directly across Trump's Venus, this tends to cause problems with his love and his money. When you look at some of the other videos I did, you'll see that a number of times that Trump had this aspect in his chart, he had to, or similar aspects, he's had to declare bankruptcy. At other, declare bankruptcy, got divorced, and the last time it would have been really bad would have been about 30 years ago. So just check out what happened to Trump 30 years ago, and you'll see the last time he went through that transit. And you could very well expect him to go through another transit right now. Now, he did survive the impeachment trial, and he's still in power, and I think everything is pretty good for it. And so right now, whether you realize it or not, something is going on with Trump's job. It's under pressure. He might lose his job somehow. I don't know how, because he's still in power. Or he might, it looks like he survived. Like lose money, lose job, lose relationships. But it looks like he survived, so everything should be okay for him for the next little while, because Saturn is going to cruise here. At the end of April, it's going to return and come backwards. So at the end of April, beginning of May, you can expect some kind of stupidness, and it's going to put this here, when it comes back at the end of April, is going to put some pressure on this again. So something's going to happen to him at the end of April, which is going to cause some kind of problem in his job is going to be under attack again. His love life is going to be under attack again. But for the time being, this aspect is exact right now as I'm looking at the chart. So that was the full moon. So we looked at the full moon, what's going on with that. And I just wanted to tell you guys this. And I didn't realize, because I haven't looked at his chart recently. I didn't realize that this is going on. So he is under a tremendous amount of attack right now. I would expect this week, when Mars, which is going to cause a big fight, when it becomes more exact here, we're going to see a little bit of problem this week. He's going to have to watch himself right now. It looks like he's out of most of the nonsense. Like he survived it, right? In the media, he survived. He still has his job. He still has everything. But we'll have to see what happens. Anyways, that's the deal. That's the deal. Full moon. So full moon, all your cuckoo bananas comes out. The moon is who you really are. It's what you want to do. It's your desires. And that's on full display during the full moon. And Donald Trump has a very strong desire to kick some ass right now, and he's absolutely doing it. Anyways, I wish everybody the best of luck. I really do. Good luck, everyone, in all of your ventures. I hope everyone is okay. It is a tense time astrologically. And, you know, subscribe to the channel. Please download the app and share the videos. And I'll see you guys on the live stream. From the sunnyside.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a super beautiful day. And I'll see you guys soon.